Nikki. I am doing really well. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, welcome to this podcast, Puyallup Home Pros. You're a Puyallup local.
I'm
a Puyallup local. And we're going to talk about Puyallup homes and how to get them sold.
Excellent. Sounds good.
So for those of you just now tuning in, Jason and I go back almost 10 years. Found your photos overlooking the Orton Valley on July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I was smitten. Just like, who did that? Who did that? I have to know who did that. And then we collaborated on some photography things and helping some students learn photography and getting inspired about it.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to cross paths again in real estate.
Yeah.
So you do real estate photos and video, and you help us get our home sold.
Yeah.
So for the average homeowner, home buyer or seller, let's talk about the things that really matter to them.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. First of all, the burning question everyone needs to know: how do you choose a photographer?
The short answer is that you should really be trusting your real estate to choose the photographer. There's a lot that goes into real estate photography, and a good real estate agent is going to kind of have their systems and processes already in place. They have their stager, they have their photographer, they have their lender that they prefer. You want someone who already has someone that they've been working with for as long as you would hope for. They understand the style, they understand what each other needs. You want a photographer that can kind of go in asking minimal questions and understand what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been working together long enough for the photographer to show that they have a reliable, consistent, good, high quality style.
Mm-hmm. Something that is really important on the agent end is we need to know your turnaround time.
Yep.
Because
it varies, right?
It does vary. Not all photographers are created equal in how much time they require to do the shoot, how much time they require to do the editing, how much time they require to then get it back to you. And then what if I have questions? What if that doesn't really show off the house the way I was hoping for?
Mm-hmm. Right. It's one thing, like if they get the photos back within 24 hours and then you have a single change that takes 5 days, that's not going to work.
That's not going to
no
work.
Good.
No, I was going to list tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm trying to upload these photos right now. And there's something wonky in that one room and we need to go back.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot do that. So ideally, your real estate agent will have a selection of photographers. So for the home seller, then the next question is, who is paying? I thought, some sellers assume that they're going to pay for photos. I prefer to pay for the photos. What do you prefer?
I prefer that the agent pay for the photos.
Okay.
Just because for me it's a much more stable process, much more reliable. The agent knows what to expect. We've worked together before. We've worked out kind of a neat and stable system.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the fact that the agent is going to be using the photos in a variety of ways, and they need to make sure that they have like legal rights and access to them. If the client pays for the photos, they get the licensing rights. They may not know necessarily what to do that. They may not know how to hand it over to the real estate agent. And using those photos doesn't always end right when the sale of the house happens.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you really want the agent paying for this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's part of why you're paying for an agent anyway, right? You're
Yeah.
paying for the expertise. You're paying for the connections and relationships with professionals they've already worked with. You're paying for them taking the headache off of your plate of handling so much of this. I prefer the agent paying. I think the client should prefer the agent paying.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you prefer the agent paying
I
too.
prefer the agent paying too. My issue with I want to pay is because I am in charge of marketing the house. And so I'm talking to different stagers about what's the right way to market this house. Because if I have a mid-century modern, the staging needs to match that house.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have a whole new Northwest contemporary, then the staging needs to be that style and that flavor too.
Mm-hmm.
And not all stagers have all of that available. So I've got to pick and choose, and then I need to get the right photographer who's going to show it off. Like, this is the way it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to showcase it in a very vintage, memorable style. Oh, I'm going to make people want to move in. I'm going to make people want to move in with their golden retriever and their 2.3 kids. And other houses are going to show a different lifestyle, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to know this is how we're going to capture that because it matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Photos are the first thing people see. I know I like to browse real estate markets in other areas, and I am shocked and appalled at what is going on in other areas.
My goodness, yes. I have a lot of agents who are also licensed down in Arizona, and I do the same thing as you. I kind of like look at what's common down there, the style, the decor. A lot of just iPhone photos.
A lot of iPhone photos. A lot of not turning on all the lights in the house. What is the problem with turning on lights in the house? Just turn the lights on. Oh, it's really dark in here. It's a log cabin. Then add more lights or get a photographer who knows how to light a room.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just walk around with your beginner DSLR you got at Costco. 35 years ago, it's barely digital, and shoot photos. That's not okay. Sorry. I care about the photos of your house. Right?
Yep.
Yep, we do. So if the seller pays and there's licensing restrictions and usage, that Northwest MLS has rules about what we can do and what we can't do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I know most of what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I know the ones that affect me. For instance, hey consumers, we can't edit your grass. Jason can't edit your grass, and I can't edit your grass, and you can't edit your grass. That's important.
The MLS once or twice a year chooses someone to darn near publicly crucify for misrepresenting a property. And they're really focused on lawns right now.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, they really want you to show the property as the client is going to see it when they go to see it. So if you want me to edit something, you really need to make sure that that's how the house is actually going to look when a client goes to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you want me to edit out some holes in the wall from some paintings that were hanging there, then you or someone you know needs to be at the house that very evening covering up those holes so that like the digital edits I just did for the listing is going to be how clients actually see it. Same with the lawn. The one time I've edited a lawn was when someone said, right after you're done here, we're bringing in a company that's going to roll out basically a new lawn for the showing this weekend. It's like, okay, well, then I'm happy to make the lawn look new because that's what clients are going to see.
That's what's going to be true
Yes. Yep.
within 24 hours.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's what really this is all about. We don't want to misrepresent properties. We don't want to deceive clients. I could say more about that, but I'll pass it back to you.
Okay. So, accuracy in photos.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have a waterfront property.
Mm-hmm.
Can my child edit my photos into being a waterfront property? Of course he can. Should he? For the fun of it, maybe, but
Probably not.
not in order to sell my house, right? If you have a problem property behind you or near you,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen those, Jason is really good at getting selective shots
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that problem property isn't the first thing people see.
Right. Yeah, it's a fine line that we walk between showing a property at its best, but also not being deceptive about it, because that ends up backfiring as a sales tactic.
Mm-hmm.
I remember searching for my first house back in 2020, and the first house we walked into, pardon my language, but the first thought in my head was, that son of a bitch lied to me. And so it didn't matter how good the rest of the house was after that initial emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Like
it ruined it.
It ruined the whole house. There was no chance it was getting sold. No, I don't think anything could have changed our minds after that. Like, oh, I was deceived about the condition of this property.
Yeah.
And that, so we're trying to make it look nice. We're trying to show it at its best. But if people have a response of "I've been lied to," you're not selling the house.
Mm-hmm. Now we do have a little bit of wiggle room on things like adding twilight.
Mm-hmm.
Photos, which is amazing to me that we can just turn on the exterior lights at noon,
Mm-hmm.
take some shots, and you can put in really beautiful sunsets behind a home.
Yep.
I think that it adds to the warmness and the inviting. It's such an inviting photo to have a twilight photo.
Yep.
However, it's gone too far.
Okay, so yeah, let's
go there.
Let's talk about that. So to contrast with the lawn example from earlier, changing the sky is something the MLS is generally pretty cool with, because the property can look like that, and it's just kind of weather dependent.
On one perfect day, yes, there's blue sky.
Mm-hmm.
On one perfect day, you might have a Mount Rainier view. We're not going to generate a Mount Rainier where there isn't a Mount Rainier view.
Right.
But
the house can have that beautiful sunset, weather permitting, and so it's okay to edit that in.
Yeah.
Where it goes wrong, I've seen this in a couple of videos lately. People are using generative AI to create time lapse, or what they call hyperlapse sunsets. So you got the drone slow floating towards the house, and then all of a sudden time goes forward 8 hours, and you see the sun come down and set and do this real nice sunset behind the house. Looks very pretty.
That's amazing.
I've looked into a few of these and had these moments of I'm almost 100% certain that at no time in the year does the sun set at that spot behind the house ever.
Yeah.
And so you may be misrepresenting the property. It looks really cool. It looks really warm and nice.
Yeah.
But again, I worry that with stuff like that, we are sliding into misrepresenting the property.
I would agree.
Which I worry about generative AI coming back to bite real estate agents when it comes to misrepresenting a property, how it looks. You need to be very careful with how you
There's
use
going to
it.
have to be a box that said generative AI on the photos.
Yeah.
I mean, just like we have to disclose that that was virtual staging,
Mm-hmm.
we need to disclose that the sun may or may not set there, buyer beware.
That is a heck of a red flag to have pop up on your listing.
I think it is. I got flagged one of my early listings for saying that the home was ADA
Mhm.
because it is, but it's not. Like, it was never certified as an ADA property, and so even though every door is 36 inches or greater, and it's a zero entry, and it's a smooth floor, and it's got an ADA bathroom, I can't say that.
Because it hasn't been certified yet?
It was never certified.
Oh,
It
interesting.
was never designated and like gone through the whatever licensing process there is. For
So there is a
ADA
process
home.
for that, though, yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I thought 36-inch wide door, we're good.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So their accuracy matters. It matters in how we write about the home. It matters how we show the home. It matters how we're interacting with marketing the home. The marketing has to be accurate. So something I love about you and the whole trend in the last 10 years is having drone photography, because you can show off how close you are to certain amenities, or how far away you are from some amenities, or get that Mount Rainier view if you're standing on the roof.
Yep.
What do you like about it?
Oh man, there's a lot of advantages to drone photography. Of course, you can show off large properties. Like you said, you can show off how close you are to amenities. That's not usually what comes into people's minds first thing, but if you're really close to an elementary school and you've got a 5-year-old, you kind of want to know, oh my gosh, that's nearly walking distance.
The
That's,
park is 2
it's a
blocks
quarter-
away.
Yeah. It's also really good for showing off, like if you've got a green belt behind the house, like, oh, I want to be able to look out, into nature and not like another person back there. Our house has Clover Creek behind it, and it's kind of a protected area. It's never,
Yeah.
you're never gonna be able to build there. It was really
No.
nice to be able to know that from like the photos. It's also really good for if this is something you want to show off, showing off what the neighborhood is like. If you've got like a cul-de-sac, there's places for kids to play. You can show off kind of the property lines, get kind of like the satellite view as well, show exactly where it lays. This beautiful thing is on your property. This over here is on your neighbor's property. Again, lots of stuff that you can do with it.
Your
if you're
neighbors
smart.
have a pool, you do not.
One of the uses I personally like, this is something only a photographer would worry about, but if your house is on a bit of a hill and I go to the end of the driveway and I'm like 10 feet lower than the house and I'm looking up at the house, it really distorts the image. One of the important things in real estate photography that, again, only your photographer should have to care about is getting lines vertical so there's very little distortion and people can actually see what things look like. There have been so many houses where I'm like, oh, the perfect view of the front of this house is about 13 feet in the air. And so I'm out in the front holding the camera up as high as I can get it. Or if they've purchased drone shots, then I can just put the drone 13 feet up in the air and get those nice, non-distorted, as realistic as possible shots.
Yeah, we don't want the house to look like this.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Yes.
No house looks like this.
Yeah.
Shouldn't anyway. If it does, we have a different problem. It's more, maybe it's an A-frame, and it should. But
oh yeah, get low to the ground. Look at this A-frame.
Look at this A-frame. It's just majestic.
Look at how it tilts inward.
Yes, just perfect. So you were telling me a little bit about the Zillow 3D that you can do. How does that work?
Okay, yeah. So virtual tours are a thing right now, and there's still questions out there about how to get the most use out of them. Zillow does this thing where they heavily promote your listings. It's something that agents can purchase. And one of the things that they require that you include in the listing in order to really be bumped up in their listings is one of their Zillow 3D virtual tours. And it's pretty straightforward. We go in with a 360 camera. We capture all the different angles of the house, and it creates this setup where it's like a person can stand in the house in 3D and walk around the house, a little bit like a video game level. You're hopping from point to point. It's not totally free roaming yet.
They probably will.
They'll probably get there. But it gives you a good chance to turn around, look at everything. This is a really good option where just every inch of the house is pristine, good condition, or if you've got something that has an unusual layout that you really want to show off. Usually with photos, we're trying to give you kind of an intuitive sense of here's how the house is all connected, put it with a floor plan. Some houses, even with all that, it really resists understanding how the house is laid out. So a virtual tour really gives you a good a good way for people to explore a house with an unusual or really compelling, captivating layout.
Mm-hmm.
It's also really good for agents who maybe a lot of their clientele are coming from out of state and they're not able to look at the house in person. So we've got McCord Air Force Base near us, so we get a lot of military folk coming in from either overseas or out of state. Don't always get to look at the houses beforehand, so I get a lot of military clients who do these short virtual tours as well.
Yeah.
So again, good option for people who can't come see it in person.
Very good option.
One little thing I'd throw in about drone work is you want to take some care with who you hire. Anyone can purchase a drone. Not everyone is licensed to fly it commercially, insured, and general liability alone doesn't do it, or properly reports their flights. And it's not hard to do these things, but you want someone who's going to take the basic time and attention to do things right.
Mm-hmm.
You can take now a test, which costs a few $100s over at Thune Field even, to get what's called a Part 107 waiver, and it allows you to fly drones commercially. There are other waivers that you may want to look into, like the ability to fly over people, the ability to fly at night. This is all stuff that a good drone photographer has already looked into and figured out. You also want someone who is properly insured. General liability insurance alone doesn't do it. You want someone who has specific drone insurance. I'm a member of the Professional Photographers of America. I work with them and the company they partner with to get all the insurance for my photography equipment. I had to get a rider specifically for drone work. And so if my drone, God forbid, goes through like some Ferrari's windshield, I'm not ruined. The Ferrari gets a new windshield.
Yes.
You don't lose a client forever as a result. We can take care of it. We're properly insured.
Yeah.
And finally, you want someone who is properly going to report their drone flights. Again, this is not very hard. The FAA has done a really good job of partnering with different apps that allows you to check the airspace you're in to see if you need to report it, to see if you need to get what's called LANC authorization, low altitude. Oh goodness. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but there is low altitude authorization specifically for commercial drone flights that you can get. It's usually automated, and it like just kind of lets them know, hey, I'm here, I'm flying. There's also drone apps you can use that are not official with the FAA, but just lets other drone pilots in the area know, hey, I'm here, I'm doing this, just as a general safety thing. You want someone who is going to take the basic safety precautions and follow the rules to do things right and safely.
Yeah. Absolutely. We do want it done right. We don't want it done safely. We want it done with the minimal, what's the word? Minimal distractions for the neighbors.
Yes.
Minimal interruptions for neighbors. Right? We're going to do it clean and fast and in an uncreepy way.
Yes.
I'm sure you've had a couple of interactions with neighbors who weren't sure what you're videoing.
Yes. I had a gentleman out in Graham once drive up and be like, so you know I'm friends with the sheriff, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm photographing his house right now. Which I'm a big believer that people should get to feel safe in their own home, so I don't mind that.
Yes.
But usually I require that the agent or the homeowner be there with me, just so neighbors look out and be like, who is that? Oh, so-and-so. Sarah's with him. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I know her. He must be, she's selling her house. He must be there photographing her house or something like that. Yeah. Again, basic safety precautions and precautions to be polite to the neighbors. No one should be made to feel unsafe in their home, and we want to make this process easy and not stressful for them too.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be. You're already selling your home. You're packing. You're moving jobs. You're moving kids or pets or just stuff, and it's never simple. And we are here to make it as simple as we possibly can for you. We will keep the complicated side on our end. Like one of my taglines is, "I cry so you don't have to."
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'm actually really good at crying. It's a very cathartic release for me. So.
Yeah, for a while early in my career, I was shooting houses, and I had a few agents ask me, why don't you become an agent? You're really good at these photos. And very quickly I saw, you know what, I see what you have to deal with. I'm going to let you be the agent. I'm going to stay a photographer. I like my job. Your job looks like a lot.
And people have asked me, you were a photographer, why don't you do your own photos? I'm like, oh no, I would have to buy all new gear. My gear was for portraits.
Yep.
This is not the same thing. I would need all new lenses and all new lights and a whole new skill set. What you do is not the same thing as a wedding.
Yep. And I shot weddings for years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love weddings,
so
but it's very different, yes.
Very different. A wedding might leave me dehydrated and hungry and cranky, but I'm done in 8 hours, and I only use 2 lenses. And a house is not the same.
Nope, a little bit different.
Yeah. How many houses can you do in a day?
I try not to do more than 2. I can probably do 3. And it also depends on a little bit factors. This last year, I started developing a new shooting style, and I started training an editing team to work with it. Uh, there's kind of a sliding scale of speed versus quality, and I prefer I'm doing my shoots faster now, but I prefer they take a little bit longer so I can make the photos look their absolute best. I definitely have a method available to me for doing it faster. Like if you can only get me half an hour in that house, I can make that work. I would much rather an hour.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I would much rather an hour and a half. I can do it. I can really blitz a house, and the photos will still look really darn good. But I mean, goodness sake, what's the average price for a house in this area right now?
Oh yeah.
Let's put in the time and the effort. Let's do an hour and a half to get the most quality that we can.
Totally agree.
See, I guess I could do more than 3. I really wouldn't want to.
Well, there's also the drive-in time, and then there's the processing time.
Yep.
Because you shoot does not equal here, I'll take your memory card home and I will upload the photos. That's not what happens. They still need to be processed, edited, culled. There's a lot that happens. But, not to mention changing the sky a few times.
Yep.
What do you do for rain?
How detailed of a
Okay, I used to have rain
response?
bother my portrait photography because sometimes it rains really heavy and I'm getting these fat drops and I'd have to adjust with shutter speed and technical stuff that we don't need to talk about. But how does that affect houses?
The short answer to that is that there is a technique to deal with that.
Okay.
Slightly more technical, and I'll keep it short. Normally for outdoor shots, I'm shooting like a 3-shot HDR, so overexposed, underexposed, properly exposed. For rainy days, I might take like 6 to 8 shots, all exactly the same exposure. And each of those shots, you have raindrops in different places. Well, in Photoshop, there's a way that you can average those all together such that it keeps what's there in every shot and removes what's not there in every shot. The raindrops.
Raindrops.
Yes.
Flies.
And then you do your usual thing where you color balance and you put in the blue sky. It gets a little harder when you have like a wet driveway. Again, then you're starting to very slowly get into, ooh, am I misrepresenting this property? If I use the necessary techniques for drying it out, does it still look like the actual driveway or does it look like something different?
Right, but we always have a wet driveway.
True. We are in Washington State. That is correct.
I mean, just embrace that. It's a wet driveway 90% of the time. If you have a dry driveway, it's August.
Yeah, that's true.
Today. Today it's going to be a dry driveway. Yes. Sorry, it's hot today on the day that we're filming. Well, okay, so what area do you serve? Because I don't want to call you out for a house that you're clearly, nope, outside my area.
So I typically will go as far north as Seattle. Most of my clientele are not there. And I will go as far south as Olympia, and most of my clientele are not there. I'm located in Tacoma. So I see a lot of Tacoma, Gig Harbor, a bit of Yelm, DuPont. Sometimes I'm up in Federal Way, Bonnie Lake area as well. I've been known to go as far as Friday Harbor.
What?
But that's just because...
You want to say that out here in public?
I love an excuse for a beautiful drive, and going out to the islands, that is now a weekend-long session.
Yeah.
And it's for people who wanted something specific and special, and they really wanted me to do it because they had a friend who just happened to be out there, and they really wanted to bring in the person they knew who could do the good job.
Yeah.
So I will go somewhat far for my regulars. Yeah. Farthest south was Vancouver. Please don't make me do that again. But yeah, I'm generally centered in Tacoma and kind of the areas around that.
Yeah.
But I'm also a sucker for beautiful drives, so.
Right, and then you have to build that into your business.
Yep. Oh yeah, there is definitely a driving fee for taking me out to the coast. I've done a couple cabins out in what's that little tourist town?
You've done Ocean Shores?
Ocean Shores, yes. Yeah. I've done a couple things on Ocean Shores, and there's a driving fee for that. But I also love doing that stuff.
Right. It just works.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah.
So another great question for sellers is why professional photography? Why can't we just use our phones?
There are ample studies that show that a house that is professionally staged, cleaned, and photographed is going to sell for more money faster.
Well, I agree. Of course I agree.
But no, we actually have surveyed evidence to back this up. On average, you're going to get more money for your house. It's going to sell faster. And especially in this market, you know that the longer a house sits, the more likely it is that you're going to have to lower the price to like really bring in buyers. You really don't want a house selling because then things just go cattywampus with the price.
You don't want a house sitting because things go cattywampus with the price.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that
You
not
said
what I said?
selling.
Oh, sorry.
We do want the house selling.
Yes.
We're on the same page.
Maybe just cut this whole section.
Jason's just going really fast.
Yeah, you definitely don't want a house sitting for very long because things will go wrong with price.
Yeah. And we are now entering a buyer's market, which is so different from the last 6 years. So owners need to know it actually may not be the photo's fault that it's not selling, but it could be the photo's fault that it's not selling.
In talking to a lot of the agents I work with, one of the conversations I hear most frequently is them talking about how they're having to have new conversations with people about the pricing of their house. A lot of people are still kind of living 5 years ago in their head, and they imagine my house can sell for this and it's going to sell really quick. And they're having to have very gentle conversations that are, no, you need to sell it for a lot less than that.
Yeah.
And if you insist on selling it at this point, if you want me to list it here, it's going to sit for a long time. We're going to have to lower the price, and it's going to use up a lot of your time and my time.
Right.
We are probably going to get a better price if we price it aggressively now, and make sure that like everything's locked in terms of staging and cleanliness and repairs and photography.
Right. And so that means staging matters and photography matters, which we kind of covered earlier on. It matters who you hire. It matters the vision that I have for marketing the house, the vision that you have for capturing what the house is and who's the target market. Because certain houses, I don't have the stager bring in child things. Certain houses you do. They just lend themselves toward a different kind of demographic, and then that makes it, if you target that, it makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk briefly about the use of the photos, because we did talk about accuracy and how I prefer to pay. Most agents prefer to pay for the photos because we're the ones creating the marketing to use it. If you are hired by the seller of the home, then the seller has to go through the process of getting the photos from you, the creator, into their hands. Then they need to give it to me. And that's a messy process. And the seller has enough on their plate. You don't need another thing to do, another email to send, another huge zip file that is just humongous and is taking room on your laptop when I really need it urgently. Skip that and just photographer to agent. That's all that needs to happen.
Let's talk really briefly about like ownership of the photos and copyright and how that works.
I love copyright.
So, not a lawyer. We're going to have to oversimplify a little bit. There's a lot that goes into this. In America, any kind of artist that creates a work, they own the work. They have the copyright. It defaults to them. There are exceptions to this, but it's always written into some overarching agreement. So, for example, if I create a work as an employee for a much larger company, say I work for Disney, Disney is going to own that work, and it's built into the employee agreement somewhere. That's not what you're going to run into when you're an agent working with a photographer. The photographer is going to own the rights to that photo. So you need to find someone who's going to have some kind of licensing agreement that allows you to use the photos for certain uses, for a certain amount of time, for certain purposes. And that can be kind of daunting. It is a discussion you definitely want to have with someone before you hire them. You want to make sure that they have a clear policy in place there. And it can kind of become a headache. One of the easiest way for agents in Washington State to handle this is by going to the Northwest MLS and looking at the list they keep of photographers that have agreed to the licensing agreement that they have set out, which is extremely generous. And if you choose,
but also reasonable.
Yes, it is.
For what we have to do, this is reasonable use.
Yes. So, like, I'm one of the people on that list that they keep of photographers that agree to their licensing. I am not giving away my copyright entirely. I still need that to be able to put the photos on my website, in my portfolio, to show it off, to print it out. Like, I still need the ability to copy my own photos.
You have to market yourself.
Exactly. But the same becomes true for you. You need those photos to do a variety of things. And even after the listing is done, you probably want to be able to say, hey, look, here's some of the houses that I sold. Bright, beautiful visuals are such an important component of selling yourself online that it would be really difficult to do that without those. So yeah, find yourself someone who is going to have a licensing agreement that works for them and for you. And the easiest way to do that is go to the Northwest MLS list of photographers who have agreed to their licensing agreement. makes the whole process a lot easier.
I agree. The Northwest MLS usually has really reasonable rules, really reasonable standards, like not editing the grass. It's not that unreasonable.
Don't lie.
Don't lie about your house.
Good policy. Yes.
You don't have a sunset view, and I know it. We do. I love to walk around Puyallup, overlooking the Ording Valley, and I know they have a sunrise view because I see it. Right. So then let's go take sunrise shots. Let's have Jason come out here at 6 o'clock in the morning and take a beautiful sunrise shot. And we might get lucky, and the clouds won't be too low.
I can do that. Coffee in hand.
Yeah,
I can
we'll
do that.
You live nearby. You're local. You know where it is. You probably know the houses I'm talking about.
Probably near where we took that July 4th photo that you mentioned.
Well, it's a little bit further down, but yeah, that's also a good neighborhood. Great neighborhood. So if you are thinking about selling by owner and you're not going to use an agent, they would need to find someone like you. So real estate photos, whether that's your recreational land or a cabin, whether you're using an agent or not, take the time to find a good photographer who's going to help you market your property the way it should be seen, accurately, well lit, and in a full-size file.
Beautifully and honestly.
Beautifully and honestly. I love that. We should say that more often. So thank you so much for coming today and being on Puyallup Home Pros. I love highlighting our local businesses and local experts. So I'm Nikki Robbs with Puyallup Home Pros, and this is
Jason with Comerford Real Media.
We're both locals. Thanks for tuning in today, and have a great day.
Bye.